Come in.
Hello, how's it going? I'm Slag Majeski from Salesforce.
Nice to meet you. Please sit. I'm
Thank you so
Taylor.
much. Taylor, so nice to meet you. Here's my business card just so you can have all of my information moving forward. If you need to ask me anything, I'm always available.
Great. Thank you.
Taylor, how was your weekend?
It was good. I got to spend time with family and just hang out with them. How was yours?
It was great. I did a lot of the same. Got to go to a soccer game, but a lot of family time.
Nice. That sounds fun.
Taylor, I wanted to thank you for meeting with me today and your time. I know it's very valuable. You're a very busy person. Is 10 minutes still okay for our meeting today?
Yes, that works perfect.
Perfect. Is there anybody else that we should be expecting to join us? Any other person that should be here?
Yes, Jeff was supposed to join us. However, he can't. I will be passing along the information to him, though.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing the information with him about our meeting.
Sure.
Before we start, we get more in depth about the material of our conversation. Is it okay if I take notes to carry away important facts with me?
Yes, that should be fun.
Perfect. Well, thank you. So, Taylor, I understand that Five is currently in the market for a new CRM, and I hope that I can help you out as much as I can with that. Can you currently tell me what Five is using as a CRM system and kind of how everything's working currently with your company?
Yes, right now we are using Excel and Outlook, and we wanted to use that because it's the most simple thing for our employees to use, and most of them are already familiar with that. And we've also allowed for them to use third parties if they'd like.
I see. Well, I completely think that having something that's easy to use and to maneuver is important for your employers, but could you explain a little bit more about the third party and how that kind of works?
Yeah, so the third party was put in place for flexibility. However, it has caused a lot of problems in mobility and miscommunication and lack of working as a team, really. So
I see. I can definitely understand how these problems can come across using different platforms. I mean, you're talking about whole different operating systems and features, and they don't really communicate well with each other. Apart from this, Taylor, can you expand a little bit more about your sales team and kind of the structure that you have at Five?
Yes, definitely. We do have 32 people in sales, 8 back office support team members, and also 3 analysts. We all focus on calling the database and prospecting heavily.
I see. It sounds like you have a great team structure, and it sounds like they support one another, which is great to hear.
Yes.
Are they all centralized at the same location?
No, they're not. We do have a headquarters at Irving, and we have different sales departments in Houston, North Texas, and Northeast.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like you have a great zone of coverage right now. Is it your plans currently to stay where you're at, or do you foresee some type of growth where you're expanding in the domestic market?
Oh, well, we always plan for growth, and right now we've experienced 120 to 130% in growth.
Wow, congratulations.
Per year. Thank you. And we want to add 2,000 more clients to our database.
I see. It's definitely a very well-reachable goal, if I do say so, considering how well the business is doing so far.
Thanks.
Besides this expansion and the growth that you're seeing domestically, do you have any plans to grow internationally?
Yes, we just expanded in Mexico, and we also got licensed to operate in Canada. We haven't done so yet, however, it's in the works.
I think it's a great idea to expand in that category, and it's definitely something that as the company grows, I don't see any reason why they can't grow internationally. I'm very excited for those possibilities for you.
Thank you.
What are specific target points for you, Taylor? Goals that you're working towards within Five, and stuff that you really want to see happen within the next couple of months or the next year or so?
Yes, well, we plan on expanding our market share within the regions. We'll want to integrate communications with all CRMs, and our employees mostly work as a unit and perfect our process.
I see. I think it's great, those goals that you have set forth, and I've heard you say communications a couple of times, and I understand that you're having some issues with that specific topic within your team. What else is currently an issue for you with the CRM, if you could expand on this topic for me?
Of course. We had some complaints, unfortunately, of overlap, of being contacted by different reps, which makes us look very unorganized. So we definitely lack the tools for everyone to have the same client information. It's something we want to all get on board. I see.
And I completely understand why you feel that way. I would have to completely agree with you. Especially in a customer-based business, you want to make sure you have that professionalism, and that you also communicate as a team, as a unit.
Of course.
With that being said, are there any other concerns that you have about your CRM moving forward, stuff that you haven't come across but that might be an issue?
Yes, we lack mobility right now.
Okay.
And it's a huge thing for us. It slows our sales because it's taking away focus from building relationships. So we would like to have more mobility.
I see. And especially in today's world with the way technology is set forth, mobility should be a great tool for you to use so you can ramp up your sales and utilize that. With that being said, speaking about mobility, how do you handle when your current sales staff decides to leave you or they decide to move to a different company?
Unfortunately, right now we don't have a system for that, and we would like to have more control over those whenever we want to retain our clients within the same company.
Absolutely, and that's the most important thing. That's your business and that's your book of clients, and you want to make sure they stay internal.
Of course.
With that being said, Taylor, could you expand a little bit more about your sales staff coming into the office? Do they usually work out of the office? Are they more mobile?
Yes, they're in and out of the office.
Okay.
We encourage them to prospect a lot, so that's where a lot of their business occurs outside of the office. However, they do meet once a week for a weekly meeting.
I see. And those weekly meetings, are they directed by you? Do they have like a team leader that they direct to?
Right. So we have directors that support each team and report back to myself and Jeff. 20% of our deals are represented as a team, so that's why we require these weekly meetings since the lack of mobility, and that way everyone's on the same page.
I see. I understand the importance of these meetings for you right now, especially going back to those issues you were telling me about your mobility, your communication, and how you have to make sure everyone is following under the same page.
Absolutely.
Is it fair to say that overall communication is your biggest source of concern at the moment?
Yes, definitely. Communication is a huge problem right now.
I see. And understanding this and considering all of your other problems, considering that with a new CRM like Salesforce, where it can structure a better communication tool for your team to have that transparency and that visibility, how can you profit from this time, from not having to do these specific meetings because communication is already standard? When gaining this extra time and this extra feature, how does that impact your business?
It affects it tremendously. It's affecting our bottom line database. Our customer relationships are hindering because we're so unorganized right now, and if we want to see growth, we want to make sure everything has a good system in place.
I understand, and I think that's key. That's a key word right there: good system in place. Moving past that, thinking about how else this impacts your business. Visibility and pipeline management, is that something that you directly oversee, or is that something you delegate within your teams?
We have directors that delegate that within their teams.
Okay.
They do report back to Jeff and I, and we approve of things. Since we are still a small team, we'd like to approve and make sure everything is running smoothly and on the same page.
I see. And considering the growth we talked about earlier and the expansion, it's fair to say that this process is only going to become more of a daunting task for you to perform. So communication comes back again in terms of it being an important factor for you.
Correct.
Awesome. And Taylor, if I can I ask you what your biggest concern is moving forward with the new CRM system?
Yes, Jeff and I's biggest concern is the learning curve. I'm sorry. It's the time that it will take our employees to learn a new CRM, and we just don't want to take away from the building relationships process if it takes too long to learn.
I completely understand that concern, and I can see how that relates back to you wanting to establish a system that was easy and familiar with your client base. At Salesforce, we really tried to integrate our system to be as user-friendly as possible, and we've seen great success with people being able to adapt to it quickly. But without going more into what I'm offering, just kind of addressing that issue for you, it sounds to me that if we were to address these issues for you and give you the visibility, give you the ability to communicate, optimize your sales program, and adapt our program for you to maximize your output, to maximize your sales, is that something that you would absolutely be interested in?
Yes, definitely. We're definitely looking to get more organized.
Perfect. Well, I'd be more than happy to show you on my computer or my phone the mobility, the features, and kind of how everything ties in together to give you a better understanding of the product itself.
That would be great. Yes.
Perfect. Let me just move this to the side real quick. I'll go ahead and pull it up for us so that we can walk through it together.
Great. That sounds fantastic.